right? And all of us that are on this panel have ancestors who have faced the kind of real, in your face battle that we now face. Maybe they faced it 50 years ago, like my ancestors. Maybe they faced it 100 years ago. Maybe they faced it 1,000 years ago. But all of us are here because someone in our ancestry faced down, stared down the kind of despotic nonsense we're seeing now and somehow survived it. They didn't survive it by praying it would go away or voting it out or wishing that it would go away. That's not how you confront something like this. And we just haven't come to peace with the idea that ordinary, normal course of business can somehow fix this, because that's what we want. We want to feel like we can keep going to work and keep doing our job and keep supporting our organizations and keep doing things the way we've done them. And somehow, the MAGA will come to their senses. They'll see the light. They'll turn the page. They'll abandon this guy. We're very much hoping this Epstein thing will blow up his presidency. It doesn't matter whether it blows up his popularity or not. He has total control of the government and he's not going anywhere, right? Confrontation requires something else. And I keep posting about this idea that our leaders, those who asked us to trust them with leadership, are not confronting the need for actual leadership. Actual leadership is not telling us how bad it is or telling us how much we should hate the other side. Actual leadership is saying, hey guys, this is the plan. If your last name is between A and C, this is how you are going to block stuff. If your last name starts with D through G, this is how you are going to block stuff. If your last name is G through K, this is how you are going to block stuff. This is where we're organizing. This is where you show up. These are the industries we're going to shut down. These are the transportation systems we're going to shut down. These are the things that we're going to block. Who's doing that? Because that's leadership. The team is not just the people who have titles. The team is everybody in America who loves democracy and the Constitution. And nobody's willing to consider us players in the game. They're hoping we figure it out amongst ourselves. That's why they're such big fans of grassroots movements and grassroots organizing. Well, so am I. But this is a bigger problem than any grassroots organization can fix. We need top-down leadership here, and we need somebody to step into the gap and say, you know what? Follow me. I may be wrong, but at least I'm moving. And here's how you can help me move.
And sorry, Pam, I was only going to say, everyone listening, you could have had her. She ran, Just saying.
But that's probably why you don't. Because I wouldn't be filibustering and giving a 9-hour speech to total Pyrrhic nonsense.
Yeah,
I would be telling everybody, okay, y'all are disappearing into West Virginia. Y'all are disappearing into Nebraska. Y'all are disappearing into the Virgin Islands. Y'all are disappearing into Mexico, and we will not have a quorum. So that if you want to pass the big, beautiful betrayal, y'all gonna have to do it without a quorum and see whether it sticks.
Big, beautiful betrayal.
So, like, if I can summarize, there's no leadership without risk.
There's no leadership without risk, and there's no leadership without comprehending who is your army. Who are your soldiers? Right? The Democratic Party thinks far too much that the people who are elected are the team. That is not the team. The people doing the electing is the team. And the team has capacities, immense capacities that we are not organizing, we are not structuring, we are not giving goals, we are not giving guidance, we are not giving projects, we are not doing anything. We're just hoping they figure it out amongst themselves. Luckily, many of us are galvanizing to figure it out as best we can. But when you have a national problem, you need a national response. Amen. And so we were in that group talking about, we should do a strike, we should do a lockout, we should do a national this, that, the other thing. We are not in a position to do national things, but you know who could galvanize all of us to do something nationally? Barack Obama could do that. He's already done his service as president. Maybe it's not him, but somebody with that degree of national visibility has to say, I'm stepping up. And I'm not talking about I'm stepping up to run for office so you could vote for me the next time, because that's what Peter's doing, right? I don't want to talk to anybody who's talking to me about elections, because we are seeing too many signs that this next election is not going to be kosher. We are seeing too many signs that we are never going to get a chance for a free and fair election. So don't put your eggs in that basket. And by the way, can we really wait that long? People are dying now. People are going to lose their medical care now. People are not going to be able to afford their insulin now. How long can our diabetics go without insulin? How many babies are going to be born without any Medicaid to cover their birth costs? Like, what are we talking about? My problem right now is that Democrats have a tendency to do, sadly, what we're doing. And I love you guys. I love you all and I respect you all, but we lament. We don't plan. And limit time is over. Right? Like, we need to start talking, spend our time purely on plan. How do we obstruct, resist, and prevent? Period. That's what we should be talking about. If we're not going to have health care in this country, then how do we build an army of traiteurs and healers who can step in and help at home-based clinics, community-based help? How can we do that? If we're going to lose free public education, which is clearly on the horizon, then how do we build a team of people that are educating online, on YouTube, and getting kids the education they need? Like, how are we doing that? If we're going to lose food assistance through SNAP, then we ought to be having a band of people buying land right now to put gardens all over our cities, vegetable growing all over the place, so that we can feed people and teach them how to feed themselves. Who's doing that? We're sitting here lamenting what's happening rather than accepting that it's happening and doing everything to thwart its impact. That is leadership. And that, I think, is what people are hungry for. Some voice that says, hey, here's the plan. We're not going to let everybody starve. We're going to do everything to stop people from starving. And if we have to organize every house in the community so that each house rotates the day that they're making PB&Js for the kids, then that's what we do.
I've been asking this question on this show for like months. You know, like, what do you want to see Democrats to do? Like, stop complaining about what they're not doing. What should they actually do? You are the first person that's been on this show that has actually articulated something they should do. So I just applaud what you're saying. Like, this is what we need. We need to think about answers, not just criticisms.
Exactly. I hate to dominate the conversation because we have so many brilliant people and so many good people on this panel, but this has been sitting on my heart, and I've been posting about it, and I'm trying to get people to say we have to shift into a completely different direction. We need to tell our elected officials that if you want to be a leader, you may not have wanted to be a leader so that you could do something other than legislate, but too bad, so sad, you asked for it, you fought for it, and there you are, which means that we should be dividing up the, 200-something members of Congress into small teams that are responsible for leading on certain issues, not fighting the Republicans about passing legislation about it, but recognizing that there's going to be an immediate and necessary exigent need in the American people, and they have to stand up as leaders and say, this is how we're going to address this need as best we can, understanding that we're not going to be able to fix what government is taking, but we have to be able to mitigate that while we galvanize the people to step up and step in for their country and for their fellow countrymen.